Today is Wednesday, February 25th. Trying to get this video update out prior to NVDA earnings. Wanted to discuss some of the hypotheses that I'd laid out in last week's video and follow up on some of them. So at the time, my general idea was that, specifically looking at the S&P, that we'd been in this consolidation pattern. Momentum had started to shift to the downside. It looked like some of these moving averages were beginning to cross over. The market regime signal was in neutral territory for the S&P. At the same time, TLT had broken out. Already the market regime signal was bullish, and I think the momentum signal will flip here soon as well. And then lastly, gold had this sell-off and had just been chopping around. The last thing I'll say is QQQ had also generally underperformed S&P. As you can see here, here's S&P performance, basically, since November of last year, and QQQ had started to seriously underperform. So when looking at all of this, my general idea was it seems like inflation is down, growth is down, and what would happen here is bonds would do the best, and then gold and S&P would probably behave similarly. And that's generally what we saw. The main condition that I had against this was we saw reacceleration in NVDA and QQQ. So let's take a look at that. So kind of Monday into Tuesday of this week, what we began to see, yellow line here is NASDAQ, red line here is S&P. Basically, Monday going into Tuesday, we saw this ramp in the NASDAQ. NASDAQ started to outperform, and we've continued to see that. And once I saw this, to me, I did not think the sell-off was as likely. And, ultimately you need the big tech stocks to fail. And if they're outperforming S&P, that's just, it means the sell-off isn't happening now. So the other thing is NVIDIA, and just to kind of put it into perspective, actually this is a decent chart right here. So, S&P has been, S&P and NVIDIA performance has been very comparable, and here's the S&P signal overlaid onto NVIDIA price action, and we see that NVIDIA broke out into bullish territory again. This doesn't mean that we are going to be bullish, but this is just, again, another confirmation that Monday going to Tuesday changed something. Momentum shifted again to the upside. NVIDIA is reaccelerating. And, if you look at general performance, you see that NVIDIA has actually started to, in recent history, started to outperform NASDAQ and S&P. Obviously, if you scroll up back to like here, then when NVIDIA was at its high, then NVIDIA is going to underperform. So the way I generally view earnings is that the price action going into earnings, especially when trend has been there's been a non-existent trend, right? It's been extremely choppy. I think this is a good insight into the price action we should expect from NVIDIA earnings. I would expect to see a pretty bullish response. And I think at that point you likely hit 700 on the S&P, and then, who knows from there. But yeah, I think Tuesday morning was a good time to flip. In the future, maybe I'll make those videos more promptly, but this is just, random updates. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'll keep posting these sometimes. I have a Substack. Check it out in the description. It's going to be like more long-form content for people more interested in developing trading skills. And good luck out there.